There's a line in the books where I say that the reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who does not read lives only one. And for me, that's been true. The life of the imagination has made my own life much richer. It allows us to walk the forests of the night and see wonders and terrors, and it's painted in broad strokes.
Hey guys, Pete here. That was a clip from Apple where George R.R. Martin talks about his new enhanced book series that's coming out on iBooks. I'll talk a little bit more about that later and show you a little bit more of the footage. So a couple people asked where the weekly spoiler video was, and with the holidays there really wasn't any news this week. But this is going to be a spoilers video, so if you don't want to see what's going on in Season 7 filming for Game of Thrones, or any cast news or anything like that, then you'll want to stop watching now. With that out of the way, let's jump right into it. So the only thing that popped up before the holiday was that Joseph Malloy, I think that's how you pronounce his name, the guy who plays Benjen Stark, showed up in Belfast just before they finished filming. We had a picture of him sitting with Tormund and Jorah at a bar with some lucky fans. And beyond that, we really don't know what's going on. He was there for the Wolf Hill Quarry scene, I'm sure, which, we know is going to be a battle, most likely with the Night King. So it's pretty likely that he's going to lend a hand when things go against our friend Jon Snow. That'll be actually pretty cool. I mean, it'll be nice to see another Stark reunion. The bad part here is that it'll probably spell the end for Uncle Benjen for sure if he has to come and save his nephew Jon Snow from the Night King. So I guess the best we can hope for is that he'll be able to hold them off a little bit longer than Summer did whenever the direwolf sacrificed itself. If I remember correctly, the leak said something about this happening, and even without that information, it makes the most sense of, that's what Benjen would be there for. I don't think he'll meet up with them before the battle, and, he would be there to help out in the situation, which can really only end in a crisis. I mean, going against the Night King, it doesn't matter who you have, it's a bad situation. From there, we got a couple new photos from the week before when they were filming in Croatia. Nothing too exciting. We get to see some gold cloaks and some things like that. But we've actually already seen the more exciting stuff from that in the last video. So there was also all the usual social media stuff. And this photo of Emilia Clarke on her Instagram pretty much sums up what we should expect for the next week or so. You can see that she says this is what a day off feels like. And not surprisingly, the rest of the cast, I'm sure, was on break. Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow, did have a birthday over this time, but we didn't see anything exciting related to that. Past that, there was a little bit of news that wasn't spoilers. George R.R. Martin has announced officially that the graphic novel for the Mystery Knight's going to come out. This isn't a big surprise because we've already seen the graphic novels for the first two Dunk and Egg books. But at least we know for sure when this is going to come out. It'll be hidden in the summer on the 4th of July of 2017. The other thing we got is the announcement for the digital books version that's coming out on iBooks for all of the original novels. The ad is actually really cool because it shows George R.R. Martin talking about different aspects of the stories and sort of reading some passages. And the digital book actually looks pretty cool too. I mean, he sells it. He says it's like a new era in publishing or whatever. And, but it looks like you can actually, look things up and have access to a lot of extra features that wouldn't be involved with just reading a paper book. I mean, I'm way more of a fan of actual paper books, and I don't really like to give money to Apple much, but I am fine with giving money to George R.R. Martin, obviously. And, this kind of puts all the best of, being able to read the book and use the internet, but actually a very closed, specific internet for the book at the same time. So it's probably pretty cool. But beyond that, we don't really have anything else this week. So what I'm going to do is, starting tomorrow, I'm going to start doing recaps of what we know already. I figured out how I'm going to split them up so it'll make the most sense. And the first one will be about all the characters we hadn't seen for a while who pop back up. And then we'll go through all the main characters and storylines in 4 or 5 days. So I hope you guys will check back for that. Sorry this was a shorter video, but it is another chance to win in the book giveaway. So make sure you subscribe now and leave a comment. And from there, once I hit 28,000 subscribers, I will pick one commenter from these videos and I will send them a copy of the 20th anniversary of A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. There'll be a link in the description for that. And if you have any questions about the spoilers that we've had so far, make sure you leave them in the comments and I'll try to get to them in that recap series. Please go and check out my Are the Gods Real series I put out. I put it around Christmas and it didn't get very many views. So it's a kind of a disappointment because I want to make part 3, but if no one's going to watch it, then I guess I probably won't. All right, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.
First scene that I wrote in the book was the finding of the direwolf pups in the summer snow. And I knew it was the summer snows. That phrase was there right from the beginning. The mother wolf, dead, gave birth even as she was dying, with a broken off antler of a stag in her throat. I do try with my words to convey what I'm seeing as the scene lives in my head, to make it live in your head as well. The Iron Throne, in my mind's eye, dominates the throne room completely. It's made of thousands of swords, and they were melted down by dragon's fire and hammered into shape. It's asymmetric, it's ugly, it's a monstrous beast. Once there were 2 moons in the sky, but one wandered too close to the sun and cracked from the heat. 1,000 dragons poured forth and drank the fire of the sun. As Daenerys Targaryen rose to her feet, the black hissed, pale smoke venting from its mouth and nostrils. I am the sword in the darkness. I am the watcher on the walls. I am the fire that burns against the cold, the light that brings the dawn. Geography is destiny, in a sense. I want the genealogies, I want the histories. I think it adds immeasurably to the reality and the richness of the world.